Hi, welcome to week 3. Aren't you excited? You're almost halfway through, and hopefully you've had a chance to practice 2 really good habits that, even if you decide you don't want to be on a diet, will help you live a healthier lifestyle. Now, in addition to habit number 1, eating more fruits and vegetables, and habit number 2, moving every day, one key habit that's helped me lose weight on the possible diet is recognizing hunger. Learning to recognize hunger. Now, I know we've talked a lot about this the last couple of weeks, but this week I'm going to give you practical, usable advice that's going to help you notice when you're eating something not because you're hungry, but because you're using food for something other than fueling your body. Now, just a pro tip, if you can't tell the difference between hunger and another feeling, just ask yourself if you're hungry enough to eat a bowl of steamed broccoli. If you're not hungry enough to eat a bowl of steamed broccoli, it's probably not hunger. Now, the 3 other ways in addition to this that are going to help you recognize hunger this week are, number 1, giving up one food that you know isn't good for you. Number 2, taking 2 days off sugar this week. And number 3, eating 3 low-carb snacks this week. So, for number 1, giving up one food you know isn't good for you, I want to share what was probably the moment I knew that the G in Dr. G's name stood for gangster. I may not look it, but I'm half Filipino. And being Filipino, I grew up eating white rice pretty much every day. And one week, I came into Dr. G's office and, she was looking over my food journal and she said, "We need to talk about the white rice." And I was like, yeah, I'm like, Filipino, and it's really hard for me to give up white rice. Like, I grew up eating it pretty much every day, and it's kind of a trigger food for me. And she was like, "Do you know what sumo wrestlers eat to put on weight?" And I was like, white rice? She was like, white rice and beer. I was like, damn, this woman is a gangster. She just told a Filipino woman something that will make me forever associate white rice to sumo wrestlers for the rest of my life. She really wants me to reach my goal weight. And even though I'm joking about it now, when I journaled about it later, I realized that white rice was something that I associated to being Filipino. And growing up very light-skinned in a very brown family, I often felt really, really self-conscious. I realized that I was associating white rice with belonging and connection to my family. And I had to ask myself, are there other ways to feel connected to my family, to feel proud of my heritage, that don't lead to me having type 2 diabetes in 10 years? And the answer is, of course. Of course there is. I can still eat adobo and tocino and sinigang, and I can connect with my family over our shared history, and I can live a healthy lifestyle at the same time. So this week, I want you to find your white rice. I want you to find your touchstone food that you know is not healthy for you, something that you have a routine around that has nothing to do with satisfying hunger. And for now, don't be scared, just pick one food. Like, if you always have a Snickers with your son, you know that's not good for you, try something else, try something healthier. And just one. This isn't the time to clear out your emotional pantry because we practice a habit, we work on it, we work on improving and expanding it. These are baby steps. And as you practice this particular habit, you might realize that there are other foods that you have an emotional connection to, that you might consider only eating on special occasions. Because for now, I just want you to find one and give that one up for the rest of this 5 weeks. The other way to practice this habit is I want you to take 2 days off sugar this week. Now, I picked sugar, which includes drinkable sugar like sodas and alcohol, because ounce for ounce, sugar is pretty much the worst when it comes to reducing your insulin sensitivity. And we want to raise your insulin sensitivity, not reduce it. And I'm not the sugar Nazi. I'm not going to say, you have to cut sugar out of your life, because I haven't cut sugar out of my life. In my book, I actually say, I haven't stopped eating sugar completely. I just moved it over to a place in my life where it can't kill me. I use sugar substitutes, and I'll make another video that I'll link to this email that'll walk you through some of the ways that I found to like cut sugar out of my diet. But I just want you to limit sugar, so you're employing the same tactics that you're using to eat more veggies and move more often. You're making small changes over time so that you can train your palate to enjoy foods that have less sugar in them. Now, the reason why we're doing this is because if you try to just go cold turkey, you might feel deprived or resentful. You'll be like a rubber band and then you'll snap back. You can even go through withdrawal. So you kind of have to like sneak up on your body chemistry a little bit so that you don't snap back into your old habits like an overstretched rubber band that's just maxed out. So that's why you're gonna just take 2 days off, preferably 2 separate days. You can have fruits on those days and even sugar substitutes, and that's fine. Just no sugar. You're practicing this habit because over time, what you'll find is the less sugar you eat, the less sugar you want. And the further a little bit of sugar will go because you're reducing your tolerance when you limit your consumption. I started out with a couple of days of no sugar a week, and then I worked up to like every other day. And now I'm just in the habit of not really eating a lot of sugar. I still want it, but not as much and not as badly. And when I do eat something with sugar in it, it tastes super, super sweet. When I have a glass of wine, 1 glass of wine is enough to give me a buzz because I've slowly pared my way back. And I used to be able to eat, I'll be honest with you, I used to be able to eat a sleeve of Oreo cookies in a sitting. And now if I have like 4 Christmas cookies and a glass of rosé, I actually get a hangover because my body is not used to having that much sugar in my system all at once. Okay, so the last practice this week is eating 3 low-carb snacks. And I deliberately made this one a little easy for you, mostly because I knew it was going to be tough to give up one food that isn't good for you that you love this week and take 2 days off sugar. So I wanted to give you something that would be like an easy win. I even made a YouTube video walking you through some of my favorite low-carb snacks, and that's linked in the email that you got this week. You can check that out for some ideas for healthy ways to satisfy that 3 or 4 o'clock stomach growl, which, by the way, actually is hunger. Because when you're eating sensible portions, and we'll get to that in week 4, you will need a snack between lunch and dinner. 6 hours is a long time to go without eating. So when your stomach starts growling at 3 or 4 o'clock, it probably is hunger. And so what I want to start doing is I want you to start making that connection in your brain between stomach growls, eat a low-carb snack. Stomach growls, eat a low-carb snack. Once you start wiring your brain to expect that my low-carb fry sauce or a bowl of berries with cottage cheese at 3 o'clock, you'll start naturally craving that when you're hungry. So we're sort of killing 2 birds with 1 stone with this habit. All right, I will see you in a couple of days for your recipe tutorial and meal prep tip. And good luck, stay strong, and remember, you've got 7 whole days. You don't have to do everything on day 1. But work towards it, keep practicing, and I'll see you in a couple days. Thanks.